Good morning. It's Tuesday, August the 18th. Here's what's making news today.
I'm Emily Huang reporting live in Hamilton on the 7th day of United Steelworkers strike here at National Steel Car. We'll have the latest coming up.
The Ford government's new mandatory cash bail system is now in effect.
And Maple Leaf star John Tavares is heading to court to fight an $8 million tax bill. Well, you know, we had so much fun yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Let's do it all again. But
Why not?
Yeah, why not? But I think introductions might be in order here.
Okay.
I'm Brian, in for Rick.
I'm Simone, here for Simone.
And
Shelley, here for Brian. Yay!
Hey, Shelley's in this morning. It's a nice, fresh. It's a lot cooler this morning than it was yesterday morning.
It sure
thankfully,
is.
It's nice and fresh.
Yeah, do you guys like that?
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that. I
Yeah.
don't mind that in the slightest.
Yeah, and it's pretty much setting the stage for the week. We're going to have, well, seasonal temperatures, below seasonal some days, very comfortable temperatures, although some might complain a little bit. They like the heat, others really happy. And we'll have the forecast for you, the long range, coming up in just a moment. But we're going to get you started and check traffic right now. Here is a look at the 403 at Waterdown Road. You can see traffic is light. Weather is not a factor right now, or will it be for the morning commute? Let's have a look at a few more MTL cameras now. And this is showing us the QEW in the Stony Creek area at Centennial Parkway. And traffic is light. So far, so good. Little bit slow heading Toronto bound over the Burlington Skyway Bridge already. Wow. And here's a look at the Burlington side of the Burlington Skyway. Not seeing any closures there and no flashing lights. It's always a good sign, but we are seeing a lot of red lights. So a lot of braking going on. Wow, yeah, pretty busy on the QEW at Fairview Street, making your way towards the junction. Problem free at the junction though, and heading a little further eastbound along the QEW through the Burlington area. Here's a look east of Guelph Line, traffic moving away from us. That is your Toronto-bound commute. At Appleby Line, yes, okay, what's going on today? Is it Tuesday? Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty busy out there. Glad we're inside, guys. All right, let's get the show started.
All right, thank you, Shelley. The strike by Hamilton's United Steelworkers is now in its 7th day. And Emily Huang joins us live outside National Steel Car in Kenilworth with the latest. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Brian. Now, Local 7135 President Frank Crowder told me yesterday that the union has yet to hear back from the employer ever since they began their strike action last Wednesday. Now, as you can see behind me, the members of the union are on the picket line, and this is after a voter turnout of 91%, where members voted overwhelmingly against the latest offer by National Steel Car. Last week, Ontario NDP leader Mart Stiles and Green Party leader Mike Schreiner voiced their support for the striking workers.
Your fight is our fight. Your fight is the fight of every worker in Ontario, and so I wish them luck, and we'll stand in solidarity with them.
We stand in solidarity with them. We're going to fight for you to get fair wages and safe working conditions.
The Premier Doug Ford has not yet commented on the strike at this time. CHCH News has reached out to his office for comment. Ford has been under fire for staying silent starting 3 years ago, the last time the United Steelworkers were on strike, and that lasted just shy of 6 weeks. At the time, he faced pressures regarding worker safety after the plant saw 3 fatalities in less than 2 years. And as we spoke about this starting last week when the strike began, a major sticking point of this is the incentive program, and that's where workers agreed to a lower wage in return for a 25% increase past a certain threshold of production. Now, just like the union members, we at CHCH News have not yet heard back from National Steel Car either. We have refreshed the request for comment as well. We will be following this strike all throughout Morning Live this morning. Now, Simone, back to you.
Thanks, Emily. Hamilton police are investigating a shooting that happened in Gage Park on Friday morning.
On the morning of the 15th of August, the Hamilton Police Service received a report of a shooting. Officers attended to the area of the call and located an adult male with gunshot wounds. That male was transported by paramedics to hospital for treatment.
Police say the victim was found the day after the shooting took place, suffering from gunshot wounds. The man has since been released from hospital, but is not cooperating with police. He is previously known to officers. Now, they don't believe anyone else was hurt, but police are asking anyone who was in the area of the Gage Park fountain between 5:30 and 7:30 a.m. on Friday to contact them if they saw anything.
Hamilton police are asking for the public's help to identify a suspect in connection to a recent hate-related mischief incident. Police say this unknown individual placed stickers containing neo-Nazi and anti-black imagery on a property on Adair Avenue South near Queenston Road and Parkdale Avenue. It happened on June 13th, sometime between 9 and 10:30 p.m. Anyone with information is asked to contact Hamilton's hate crime unit.
One person was ejected after a two-vehicle crash on Highway 58 in Port Colborne on Monday. The person was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Others involved in the crash suffered minor injuries. Highway 58 between Barrack Road and Coronation Drive was closed from about 5 p.m. until 9 o'clock last night. There's no word on any possible charges at this time.
Thorold's Hazel Market and Blossom Bakery is temporarily closed, that is, after a car crashed into the front of the building on Sunday. Niagara police say a black Dodge Ram pickup truck hit the building around 1:30 in the morning and then fled the scene. Police noted that the truck suffered extensive damage to its front end. The owners of Hazel Market said in a social media post that no one was hurt, but their building suffered significant damage. The incident is still under investigation, and anyone with information or video footage is asked to contact police.
Niagara police are asking for help finding a missing man who hasn't been seen in 2 weeks. 72-year-old Robert Gunn was last seen Monday, August 3rd at the Welland Hospital. Officers say he didn't return to his home in Fort Erie. He's described as a white man, 5'8", with long gray hair and a long gray beard. Police are asking anyone who may know where he is to contact them.
Demolition is underway at the site of a deadly mass shooting this year in Tumbler Ridge, BC. The provincial and federal governments earlier pledged funding to remove the building and replace it with a new school elsewhere. 8 victims died in the February 10th mass shooting by 18-year-old Jessie Van Rootselaar, including her mother and brother, who were killed in the nearby family home. Police say Van Rootselaar then killed herself as officers closed in.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association and the Criminal Lawyers Association are challenging the constitutionality of a new cash bail system in Ontario. New rules set to take effect this week require people accused of a crime and granted bail to provide a cash security deposit upon release. The two legal organizations filed a court challenge against the law on Monday. They say the law violates the Constitution because it encroaches on federal jurisdiction and a section of the Charter ensuring a right to not be denied reasonable bail without just cause.
Additional tariffs set to be imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump will hit many industries, including exports coming out of the Niagara region, like flowers. The proposed tariff on Canadian floriculture include cut flowers, live plants, and bulbs, and could threaten more than $210 million in annual Canadian exports. Greenhouse owners and floral wholesalers in Niagara said about 50% of production across the country is shipped to the U.S. The executive director of Flowers Canada Ontario said if new tariffs are imposed tomorrow, LOCAL growers will have to pivot.
There really is no way to make that up. The reality is that for some of the products that are crossing the border, there just isn't enough, there aren't enough consumers in Canada to take all of that product. It's unrealistic.
Flowers Canada Ontario says Canadian greenhouses who will have to pay the extra costs tied to this tariff this time.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said he'd be speaking with the U.S. president before tomorrow's tariff deadline.
We'll have opportunities over the next 48 hours to discuss in more detail as the negotiations go forward, and I think that's the best forum. The most important thing happening this week in Canada is today's announcement.
Now, Carney was in Newfoundland with the premier of that province and the premier of Quebec to announce a big energy deal. It outlines plans for Hydro-Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro to divvy up power from the Churchill Falls Labrador generating station and launch new hydro, wind, and transmission projects worth more than $50 billion.
Yes, the deadline is fast approaching for a new round of 50% tariffs on a range of Canadian goods announced by U.S. President Donald Trump. The dairy farmers of Canada warned last week against any concessions on milk products, arguing that a bad deal is not worth the cost. The Canadian Beekeepers Federation says the tariff would be devastating and would likely cause prices to crash and force farms into bankruptcy. The levies are set to take effect Wednesday, and Prime Minister Mark Carney says he expects to speak with Trump before then.
Southeastern Turkey is colored red this week as tomatoes dry in the sun. After being dried under the sun, the tomatoes are mostly exported to Europe, where they are used to make sauces to be used in pizzas and other dishes. Seasonal agriculture workers arrive from across Turkey for the harvest in the summer months and spend days under the blistering sun at temperatures frequently above 40 degrees Celsius as they pick the tomatoes from the fields, lay them out, cut them in half, and salt them to prepare for drying.
And turning to sports this morning, Toronto Maple Leaf star John Tavares is set to take the witness stand in a Toronto courtroom today as he fights an $8 million tax bill tied to his 2018 signing bonus. The Canadian Revenue Agency says Tavares owes the money on a $15 million bonus, which it considers employment income. Tavares argues the payment was an inducement to sign with Toronto and should be taxed in the U.S., where he has already paid 15%. The case could also impact how NHL teams structure contracts for star players.
In inter-county baseball action, the Hamilton Cardinals fell to the Brantford Red Sox 7-1.
And he crushes this one high and deep to left center field, and that one is gone.
The Red Sox got on the board in the second inning with Jacob Cantor launching a 3-run homer to give Brantford an early lead. Hamilton couldn't mount a comeback, falling by 6 runs. The Cardinals look to bounce back tonight, hosting the Barrie Baycats at 7:30 at Bernie Arbor Stadium.
Major League Baseball's team owners have unanimously approved the sale of the San Diego Padres. The team is being purchased by an investor group led by private equity billionaire Jose E. Feliciano and his wife and business partner Kwanzaa Jones. The couple agreed in May to buy the Padres from the family of late owner Peter Sidler. The deal values the club at $3.9 billion, an MLB record valuation for a team.
Family drama seems to be brewing around the sale of the Los Angeles Lakers. Jeannie Buss is the controlling owner and CEO of the basketball organization. Her attorney says Buss opposes the sale of the family's remaining 17.8% stake to former Disney CEO Bob Iger and venture capitalist Josh Kushner. Iger and Kushner bought a majority stake in the team last week from Mark Walter for a record $12.5 billion. Buss's attorney also says an ESPN report that 5 of the 6 Buss siblings agreed to sell is false. Buss has been the Lakers' governor since 2013, a role she would lose if the minority sale goes through.
The NBA is pushing back on an ESPN report about its investigation into Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. ESPN reported this morning that 3 sources say the league found no evidence Ballmer funneled money through team sponsors to pay Kawhi Leonard in an effort to circumvent the NBA salary cap. But NBA spokesman Mike Bass says the ENPS report contains numerous and significant inaccuracies.
Canada's senior women's basketball team is off to a winning start at the FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament. Kayla Alexander led the way with 16 points and 7 rebounds as Canada beat Senegal 72-57. Silas Swords and Delaney Gibb added 13 points each. The Canadians have today off before facing the Philippines tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern.
And we're checking traffic for you this morning. If you're heading out the door, well, we're already seeing some volume out there on our major highways. Here's a look at the 403. Good news is weather is not an issue for you for the morning commute. Let's have a look at our MTO out in the Niagara region, having a look at the QEW at Niagara Street. That's pretty quiet. Here's the west side of the Garden City Skyway Bridge, lightly traveled, and heading over to Oakville, QEW at the Ford plant, both directions, a little bit of volume. We were seeing some heavier delays through Oakville, the Burlington area, over the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Not aware of any problems. That appears just to be a typical morning volume situation, although a little bit earlier than usual. Looking at our radar, not a whole lot to see across the lower Great Lakes. High pressure dominates, mostly clear skies. 13 degrees is your current temperature at the Hamilton Airport. Clear skies there, and winds are quite light. And other current conditions for you, we're looking at 15 in Milton, 18 in the GTA. We have 16 in Niagara Falls. This is 16 in St. Catharines as well. You can see mostly clear, a little bit warmer out there in the Kitchener area, around 15, 18 degrees. So as I mentioned, for your morning commute, weather's not going to be a factor. Lots of sunshine for you. You will need the sunglasses. 16 to 17 will be your morning temperature for the Golden Horseshoe. And then we'll have a daytime high of 27, a humidex of 32. There is a high UV index reading, mostly sunny skies, and winds will be out of the southwest, staying at about 20K. Overnight, 19. There is a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms overnight. This could carry through to the morning hours tomorrow. So that morning commute can be much different than what we're experiencing today with clear skies and sunshine. Winds will continue out of the southwest. Tomorrow's high, 25, feeling like 29, and a 40% chance of some lingering showers. A little bit of a shift in our winds out of the northwest. That's it for now. Back to the desk.
Okay, thank you, Shelley. Well, coming up after the break, July home sales dipped compared to last year, and we'll look at the numbers after the break. Hope you stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Live, 6:18 on this Tuesday morning. And business news, the dollar is up currently at 72.09 cents U.S. Gold is down $29 U.S. an ounce, while oil is up 70 cents to $84.45 U.S. a barrel. In midday European trading, London, Frankfurt, and Paris are all down this hour.
On the Asian markets, Tokyo took a big hit today, finishing the day more than 1,700 points in the red. At Monday's close, the three key North American markets were all down, with the TSX dipping 62 points.
The Canadian Real Estate Association says home sales in July were down compared with a year ago, but edged slightly higher month over month. The organization says home sales last month totaled 43,578, down 5.3% from the previous year. On a seasonally adjusted basis, activity was up 0.5% compared with June this year. A senior economist with the association says that below the surface of the headline national numbers, markets across the country are generally moving back toward balance.
Stellantis says it's recalling about 107,000 vehicles in Canada and Mexico as part of a worldwide recall of 955,000 vehicles. The impacted vehicles include Chrysler Pacifica, Pacifica plug-in hybrid, and Voyager, as well as the Dodge Charger, Jeep Cherokee, Compass, Gladiator, Grand Cherokee, Grand Wagoneer, Wrangler, and Ram vehicles. All impacted vehicles are from 2026 and 2027 model years. The issue is the failure of the rear view camera. Owners will get an over-the-air radio software update to fix the problem, and it'll appear as a prompt on your media screen.
Algoma Steel says future shipment volumes could be affected due to an outage at its captive power plant that forced the suspension of operations at its electric arc furnace. Algoma said one turbine unit at its Lake Superior power facility was taken offline after detecting an abnormal condition, while the remaining units continued operating. The steelmaker expects the electric arc furnace outage to last no more than 21 days. We'll take a quick break right now. We'll come back. Shelley's got the forecast and a check on traffic for you.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Morning Live. And you can see, well, lots of people already making their way Toronto bound over the Burlington Skyway Bridge. Not aware of any problems, just a busy one already this Tuesday morning. Here's a look at the Burlington side of the Skyway and making your way through the Burlington area towards the junction. Yeah, a little bit slow on that Toronto bound commute already through Burlington, problem free. And we're looking a little further eastbound here as you make your way towards Oakville, towards the Ford plant, no issues. And then out in St. Catharines, that is lightly traveled over the Garden City Skyway and problem free. Okay, let's have a look at our service analysis for the next 3 days. Lots of sunshine for us for most of the day today. Tonight, there is a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and then a 40% chance of showers tomorrow, most likely a morning event. By the afternoon tomorrow should be clear, and temperatures will be very seasonal, if anything, just a smidge above it, even a smidge below it for the 7-day forecast. Speaking of that, here we go. So today's high 27 will feel like 32, 19 overnight, 25 tomorrow. That pretty much will feel that way. 13 as our low, both Wednesday and Thursday. A nice night to turn that AC off and crank open those windows. We're looking at lots of sunshine Thursday and Friday, thanks to high pressure. The weekend so far could be a bit of a wet one. Saturday, the highest risk, and then Monday, a high of only 22. Keep in mind, it should be around 25 for this time of the year. All right, that's it for traffic and weather. Let's go back to the desk to Brian and Simone.
Thanks, Shelley. Things got a little malodorous over the weekend in a Rhode Island beach town.
Okay, now what you're looking at are over 18,000 kilograms or 40,000 pounds of squid spread across an intersection in the town of Narragansett. The squid was in a tractor trailer that tipped over, and because the pavement was so hot, the mess started to cook, and things got a little smelly. No one was hurt in the incident, and it's not exactly clear what caused the truck to tip over.
Ew. It smells smelly, huh?
Yeah, a rather interesting smell. Now, being in the weather biz for a few decades,
just a few.
I've heard of weather people cracking eggs on hot surfaces in the sun in the summer to show how hot, but never tipping over a tractor trailer to cook squid on the pavement.
No.
So that's a little
That's
beyond.
much. Yeah, I mean, I like squid on a good day.
Yes.
But that just looks very unsightly. Seeing them scoop up all of the...
Look unsightly and smell unpleasant.
Even worse.
Well, stay with us. More to come after the break, please.